What's up, everyone? Scotty from Chernobyl Studios, and today we are going to look finally at the Mammoth from Aurora DSP. Now, I have known about this plugin for a long time. I actually bought it when it's still in beta, and for good reason. It's quite popular and only gaining traction. So, of course, I like to show you that manuals exist because, guys, they don't make manuals because they're bored. They make manuals to tell us how the thing works, and so go ahead and read it. It's very short. Everything that I learned, aside from just experimenting and coming up with bass tones, it's from the manual. So, yeah, read these things sometimes. So here we are in my Cubase session. This is the Slam band from Texas. This is Scrap Pile. I'm working on their EP, which will be out on the 1st of December. And I thought, you know what? We had a pretty good bass tone, but Mammoth, it was sounding really good in other projects and other things that I was working on. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to see if I can come up with a better bass tone. And the thing with slam bands is it's all about the low end. It's all about that heavy bottom end. It just has to be like, it just has to absolutely shake the doors off. And I wanted a bass tone that's thick, gnarly, not necessarily a clanky death metal sound. I'm not really going for that with this one. I wanted to see if Mammoth could deliver me a full-bodied, thick, just like it's a baseball bat of a bass tone. So we're going to do it live, essentially. You're going to watch me do it right now, and we're going to see what we come up with. So I took all of the other bass processing off the session. Everything is deleted. We're starting just from the raw bass, which sounds like this. All right, so that's our starting point. Admittedly, it's not the best starting point. It's pretty dark. There's no snap in the strings. Pretty woody, but it's a slam band. We're not doing glam stuff here. It's fine. It's going to be nice and brutal. Let's just get started with it. So let's insert Mammoth in here and get started. Now, one of the main reasons I really am attracted to Mammoth is this is all I need. I don't need to split the bass tracks. I don't need to do any effects tracks. I don't need to do extra processing to make the bass hyped in the low end. It's all right here. We have basically, if we look at the plugin, there's a top and a bottom section. Would be like the high end drive, or the distortion aspect of it, and this is the low end. Now, normally I would have to create two bass tracks. I would split it, do the split bass method, which I've shown on my channel and been doing for years now. And I would have to do that and then insert an effects track with our bass on it to hype the low end. I mean, it's fast, and there's templates, the tracks just load up themselves. But I mean, it'd be way better if there was just one plugin. And that's what I'm really attracted to with Mammoth. It's just one plugin. So I can work even faster. And really, speed is honestly the name of the game when it comes to any new plugin that I may even want to consider buying these days. Can it make my process faster and easier? Okay, so that's what Mammoth already does. It makes the process faster and easier to get essentially the same result you would get if you were doing split bass and then passing it through like a guitar amp simulator and trying to blend all that stuff together. You don't have to do any of that. It's all right here. So input, obviously, where we can drive the input level of our signal. This is the drive, obviously. This is going to be essentially the distortion. We have 3 different types of distortion. We have an EQ band here, low, mids, highs, pretty much at classic bass frequencies. So we got 100, 500, and I think it was 1600 in the manual, if I remember correctly. We can change the tone. We can change the characteristic of our tone, more aggressive or smoother, okay? 3 different types of cabs. We can load our own custom IRs. I am doing this video after our good buddy Christian Kohle did his video, so I've got his denkle and his grind in here. One thing right off the bat, this loads with the plugin in bass, right? The B-A-S-E, okay, so bass. And you can get in here, you can be like derp, 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 that. Then you might not like something. In most plugins, you can usually just go back here and then load the starting point again, bass. There's actually no bass starting point. So what I did was I created a starting point user preset, which is just everything at 0. I thought that was kind of weird. Either I'm overlooking where I can just reset the plugin parameters in one click, or it's not there. But that's how I got past. I just made a starting point preset. So if I want to do something, I can go back to the beginning. But yeah, maybe I'm just blind and not seeing that. But then we can blend the distortion and the low end. This is where we can do that together. Obviously, more low end, more distortion, and a blend of the two. Now, this is called the crossover frequency. Now, this is where that split bass technique would come in. You would double the bass track, right? And then you would have to do like a low pass filter, and a high cut low pass filter, yeah, to like right here or something like that. And then you would feed that track into the effects track, which had our bass on it, and then you would enhance the low end. You can do that all right here in the same plugin. Okay, this is why I'm really liking this plugin. You can just do it right here, all good to go. You don't need to load anything else. This is actually not our bass, but is a bass maximizer in however they do it in the plugin. I have no idea. But this is essentially what you would have used the split bass method for. You can maximize the low end frequency content here. And this is actually an interesting thing here. Growl, if want to use Waves plugins as examples, this feels like it would be like a max bass thing, where it would move the harmonic frequency up the frequency spectrum so you could hear the notes with overtone qualities. I usually don't use this, but it's really cool actually. You can use a little bit of it. So smaller speakers, the bass will be heard better on smaller speakers and so on. But I mean, that's it. And then don't forget, I actually only found out about this because I read the manual. There is a little secret sauce thing here. It's basically like an extra distortion patch type of deal. Super chainsawy. We'll get into that, but don't forget about that. Obviously, we got the high HQ high quality button here. And then we can slam the signal here. Just completely slam it, and then we have basically the output, where we can just drop it down. So if we get really hot, we can do everything in the plugin. So this is what I'm talking about. One plugin, multiple functionalities of what normally you'd have to do in 3 to 4 different steps. Okay, like I said, normally you'd have to duplicate this track, bass high, bass low. You'd have to put a cut on the bass low to only have like the frequencies from 150 and below. You'd have to send that to an effects track with a bass enhancement plugin on it, dial all that in, okay, mess with the faders, get everything working like there, and then you'd have to bus all that to a bass bus, right, of course, because you got all the 3 tracks, and then you can do extra processing there. You can literally just forego the bass bus here. You can just have the one track now, bass, boom, Mammoth, EQ, compression, whatever you want to do, and that's it. So I really love what this plugin offers. Let's begin. So remember, we are trying to create a slam-worthy bass, not necessarily a clanky clank technical death metal bass. I want to have a lot of low end in this. I still want to have note definition, but I don't want to have clanky clank. So I actually am not really going for the dangle dangle that Kristen likes to go for, which I would usually go for in death metal mix. So let's see what we can do here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do the high end first. That seems to be the easiest. So let's do that. Oh, there's a hot button here I forgot, which basically just cranks it even more. So I'm basically deciding between these two. I like the super thick character that this one gives me. But I like the pick definition that this one gives me. We may end up going with this one. me, the 610 just sounds like it punches more. Yeah, this one's like way more loose in the low end for me. Yeah, so we're gonna go with the 610. All right, so now let's actually go all the way over here. And actually, we'll blend it at like 50%. You can just hear that filling out the low end. Yeah, that's great. And like I said, I love this. I can just do this, click this back and forth really fast now instead of having to manipulate tracks. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, so this is, you can hear that. That's really, it's like shifting the frequency spectrum a little bit higher. So it's like a bunch of overtone notes. Might use a little bit of it. Okay, so let's just... Nice. So we started from that DI, which was, I mean, it's already pretty, you know, not where we would want it to be ideally, but then we put on this Mammoth and we get this result. Okay, awesome. I really like this. So in a vacuum, this sounds great. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to save this. We'll call it Gut Pile, because that's the name of the band. And now let's see what it sounds like with the other elements of the song. We might need to change things from here. Now, I haven't done any processing on this yet, so there's no EQ, there's nothing on here yet. It might be good the way it is, or we might need to augment it a little bit with EQ. Yeah, that's thick. Yeah, it's really, really thick, but I think we might be able to get a little bit more picking definition in there. This is very interesting. Now I switched the different distortion types, and for me, now this one is cutting through much better. That's very interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, this cuts, but it's not really doing anything for me. Let's see if we can go back here. Now let's use this secret sauce here that Mammoth has and see if this does anything for us. Can't really tell in the mix. Seems to really scoop the mids and add presence. Yeah, but I mean, this thing is creating a huge bass sound. Let's see. So that's a really good starting point. What could we do? Let's see what we can do with some EQ. And since I already have this bus here, I'm going to use it. Now, when it comes to EQ on bass, there's a few key points that you really want to pay attention to. And if I press play on here and the frequency will start, you'll kind of see already what a metal bass frequency looks like. We'll just sort of enhance it a little bit. So right here, this is literally a classic metal bass EQ frequency. Now what I'm looking at here is I think I might enhance maybe the 2K area a little bit to get some more of the pick definition, ironically more of the clank, even though I don't want a lot of it, but some of it to cut through, and perhaps maybe I'll take a little bit of this area out because it's pretty boomy. Okay, interesting. So when I'm sweeping this, I'm not getting a lot of action from the 2K area, but I'm getting a lot of action from the 3K area. What I mean by action, what I mean is that I'm sweeping this and I want to make a cut, or I want to make a boost for it to cut into the song. It wasn't cutting into the song when I boosted this area. It wasn't doing anything for me. But then when I boost this area, it does a lot for me, and I only have to do a little bit. So I'm finding basically the resonant frequencies of the instrument to do the work for me. I think the difference is obvious there. Okay, so all I've done with this EQ is I've just cleaned it up. You can really feel that it's tightened up now with this little EQ. And what I did was I cleaned up a little of this area right here because the snare drum's here. We kind of want the snare drum to come through the song. So we need to just, not a lot, but we need to calm down this area here. 500 area is a super popular place to scoop your bass because 500 hertz just generally not a good thing if you want to do metal in general. There we go. Now you hear that bass just cutting way through. I think we can bring this up a little bit. I've been using this E-Bus limiter from Voxengo a ton now. I love this thing. I need to do a video on it. This is a fantastic plugin. Completely has replaced Waves L1 for me. I love this thing. Let's see if we can just bring up the bass a little bit. I'm actually not going to use the limiter, I don't think. But the bass is pretty loud. Let's see if we can mix it in now. See what this is doing with our frequency spectrum. Okay, so my ears were not deceiving me. It's super full. Yeah, so look at this. So when I opened this session, okay guys, I had 2 tracks because they were doubled. I had the effects track with our bass. I had 3 different EQ plugins. I had a compressor. I had a bunch of things going on. Now I just have 1 plugin, 1 EQ. Way faster, way easier. I really love this plugin. Yeah, I mean, as you can see right here, it's on sale right now for $40. You save $40. Dude, this is a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer of a plugin. Sounds amazing, and it consolidates a lot of processes that you would normally have to do in your DAW. That's annoying and sometimes can be difficult for new people to wrap their head around what all the things they have to do. So not only does it consolidate a lot of tasks that you would have to do to get, a slamming modern bass tone, you can do it fast, all right? And yeah, it's great. So that'll do it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. And as I said in the description below, there is a link to go ahead and grab this plugin. It is an affiliate link, full disclosure. So I will get a little bit of the sale so you can support me and Aurora DSP at the same time. Help us both keep the lights on and both keep doing awesome content and making amazing plugins like this for you guys. Amazing, amazing plugin. Go grab it right now. You won't regret it. It's awesome. Thanks a lot for watching the video, guys. Hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.